Let's talk about the backgrounds for a few moments. Here we have a white background. That's the default for Google Slides, and it's pretty dull. You want a background that's going to make your text and your graphics really pop out, even if you're using it for a slideshow, downloading it as a PDF, or maybe saving it as a graphic object that you can include in some other item, like I throw graphic objects into the daily attendance. Any of those things, you still want to make it eye-catching to your audience. The most direct way to change your background is to come right to the toolbar and click the background button and give it a color. We can give it this bright color here. There you go. That's a good background. We can add a text box, and let's say we would just want to stick in the school name there, and let's make it bigger just so it's easier for everyone to see. All right, here's River Street. That stands out okay there, but we could probably make that a little more interesting. And one way to make it more interesting is to use a gradient rather than just a solid color. And there are two types of gradients here. One is like this. It's called a radial gradient, lighter in the center, darker along the edges. Your other choice is to use a linear gradient, and that's a gradient that's going to be lighter at the top but darker at the bottom. And those will all give a little extra added boost to your Google slide. I tell you, I almost always use a radial gradient if I'm going to do that, because I like that it looks a little bit like a burst of color, and it kind of focuses the eye towards the center of the slide so that, I can kind of guide the audience's eye to where I want things to go, and then I can kind of build my slide from the center out, making sure that I've got a focal point there. So, just my personal preference. But there are things you can do that will make your slide even more interesting. Let's see, I want a brighter gradient. So let's see if I can go with this brighter blue here. All right, I like that. And then I have downloaded a graphic object that is just a burst of rays. I'm going to drag that in so you can see what that looks like. It's just a ray burst, and I actually got this from the Noun Project, which is a place where you can download graphics. And I can drag that and create my own, even better sunburst, except now you can't see anything. That's covering up the letters in my text. So there are two things we want to do here. One is we want to move it so that the rays are not in front of the text. We want them to be behind the text. So if I select them, I can come up to Arrange, and I can order and say, let's send that to the back. Now it's behind the letters, although hard to know until I do more. I'm going to come up to my Format Options, and I'm going to take the opacity of that and reduce it to about 5%. And now I have created an even better sort of explosion from the center that kind of really focuses the eye in the middle. And because I pushed the rays to the background, that lets me be able to click on the text and manipulate it. I can add more things in front. However, the rays are still not really a part of the background. Only the blue is the background. The rays are just another graphic object sitting on there, and it's easy to click on them and slide them out of the way accidentally. It would even be easy to click on them and delete them if you wanted. So here's how to fix that problem. Let's get rid of this text box for the moment. So that's what I really want my background to look like. It just doesn't yet, because that's not really the background. So I will take that and I will download that as a PNG file. And when that downloads, I'm going to delete the rays. So now I'm going to click on Background, but I'm going to choose Image. And I'm going to go and grab the file that I downloaded, drag that in there, say Done, and now it really is my background because those rays are now a part of the background. I can't click on them, I can't move them, and I can build my slide on top of that. I can do the same thing. This is one that I really like to do. Let's just throw in a new file here. I like to take a picture of the school. And let's just drag that out, make it cover up the slide there in the background. I am going to reduce the opacity way down there. Oh, about 12%, it's looking pretty good. And while it's reduced, I can see the slide in the background there. So I can kind of position this where I want it to go. So you can see I could like move the school around inside the frame of the slide. I like both of those trees there because they give a pop of color. Let's do it just like that. Download that as a PNG file. Let's delete all of that. Background, choose image. I'm going to browse and go find that, and there it is. And I open it. Done. And now that's the background of my slide, which makes it easy for me to throw text on top. I can also throw graphics on top. I can do whatever I need to do to have an interesting slide, and our school is the background. So that's how you can make interesting backgrounds for your Google Slides.